You stand here then. I'll stand. Okay.
Guys, please spread yourself out. Spread yourself out.
Okay. Let me stand here. Shaggy up. Actually, the monkey position.
You the president.
You're supposed to do this.
Namaste, how are you?
I'm Swamiji, how are you?
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Yeah, Aarti will lead and Dr. Rambilass will be.
Namaste, Aarti.
That's it. You stand. Yeah.
Telling you, it happens.
You know, it's not even a bit of you. So much that
We're waiting for somebody.
yeah. And then the inmates will go to the hospital. Take that.
You got some of that. Where do you want to play?
We only need 6
Yeah.
Nice to have you back.
Kashi Varese.
Yeah.
20. Right. Okay.
Where's Abhi?
शरण शरण शांति का धाम एक सहारा तेरा नाम अशरण शरण शांति का धाम एक सहारा तेरा
All the priests passing, the priests can play the respective first and then the others can.
Okay, please, Pandits come. We go.
Come through.
Okay. Pandits come. Pandits.
The program today comprises talks by key individuals that will provide insights and pay homage to this esteemed individual that has undoubtedly touched and impacted the lives of every person here in some shape or form. His jovial and caring nature has left an indelible mark on all of us and has left behind a vacuum that can never be filled. With that, I would like to call upon Pandita Aarti Shanand to lead us with the opening prayer. Thank you.
It is said, thirsty for knowledge, the Guru appears. J. Prakash Rambilass, or JP as we fondly called him, was my Guru. He taught us whatever we know today. He was a wealth of knowledge. And I stand here today to bow my head in prayer and to thank my Guru. And I'm asking myself, is this my Guru Dakshina? Is this what I give him? So let us all pray and get strength from prayer to cope with what has happened. Let us bow our heads in prayer, and everyone please join me, especially our Purohits, as we recite the Gayatri Mantra and the Ishwara Upasana.
Kasmai Deva उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवः यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्युः तस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यत्प्राणतो निविशतो महिद्वैतहिराजा जगतो बभूव यमीशेनस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ नद्योरुग्रा पृथिवी चार्दिः येन स्वास्तवितं येन नागः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः तस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ प्रजापते न त्वदेवान्यो विश्वाजातानि परिता बभूव यथामास्ते जुगुमस्तनो अस्तु वयं श्यामपदयोरयिणाम्। ॐ सनो वधुर्जनिता साविधाता धामानि वेदभुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमानशानास्पृथिये धामन्नजैरयन्तः। ॐ अग्नेय सुभताराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् योऽस्मज्जुपुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नमः भुक्तिं विधेम। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So family and friends, JP Rambilass, JP as is known by many, has got very many people that are close and core to his inner circle. One of those individuals who's known him for the majority of his life is a very close family friend, Mr. Anil Jairaj. If you could please come up to pay tribute to Jairaj.
Dear friends and family of the late Mr. J.P. Rambilass, I have not recently come here to mourn the passing of my friend J. Prakash. I've actually come here to celebrate his life. I have not prepared a speech as such, and what I'm going to say is just going to come from my heart. There will be some overlapping. There are speakers who are going to come after me, and they will, of course, impart to you various aspects of his life according to their respective experiences. But I'd just like to share my thoughts about the late J. Prakash or JP as I know him. He was a very close friend of mine. In fact, his whole family, Rambilass family, was very close. He became very close to me while I lived with him in Goka. We were like brothers. And there were many hours of time that we spent together, enjoyable hours. Just a few things about him. First of all, he actually attended the Goka Primary School, and thereafter he attended Sasti College, where he matriculated. And thereafter, he became an educator. He studied at the University and became a teacher and educator. Now, there are two professions in life which are very, very important to us. Any other professions we can do now. And those two professions are, first of all, the farmer, the agriculture, produce food for us. Those without food we can do. That's one. The second one is we need to learn in life. And the educator is where the second phase of our life comes. Without these two professions, it's unlikely to be able to survive. And Prakash belonged to the lowest of professions, that was an educator. The important thing is that it was not only an educator in a normal run the way to the school and teaching us the A's and C's, but he became an educator in our religion and our culture as well. He actually used to tutor students and brothers, and he produced many of them, and many of them are here and testify to them. So his experience and influence not only spread or was confined to our normal run of the schools, but actually, of course, traversed our cultural and religious environment as well. He taught, I believe, in a school in Maritzburg, taught at but he was also a teacher at Sasti College. Sasti College is also very close to my heart. I am an alumni of Sasti College. I'm proud to say that I shared that alumni status with J. Prakash as well. Now, J. Prakash is very well known for his philanthropic and public work. He was a public servant through and through. Pandit Sadhguru will of course give us more insight into his involvement with the various bodies that they involved in. And I won't go through that. But what I can attest is that apart from being a very excellent teacher, I'm not saying a good teacher, apart from being a very excellent educator, when he was given a task, he used to put his heart and soul into that particular task and managed to accomplish it. There are a number of organizations, many organizations which are being called upon to formulate constitutions and deeds of trust in them. And of course, in order to assist me and to proofread and of course check the documents, the first port of call used to be J. Prakash. There were constitutions of our own beloved Avoca Culture Society. He was a part of that. In Arya Samaj, and even the Sasti College Alumni Association and Trust, he was also a part of the drafting of all these documents that he assisted me to do. So, and he never actually, he was not a person who actually compromised on quality. He always did his work quality, and you can rest assured that if you give Prakash fast to do, you will not sure he will make sure he carries on to its fulfillment. And that was the caliber of this magnificent person whose service we are going to miss very much. Now, not only that, he was a hard worker, a hard taskmaster, but he worked hard and he also played hard. Played hard in the sense that he was a man of great humor. We used to have lots of fun. There were many parties and picnics and camping trips that we had with him. And he used to be the life and soul of our. You cannot imagine any function where we had our friends in America getting together without J. Prakash being the heart and soul of that particular party. So he also enjoyed life, really that way. And he was what he called a coffee animal. And I always remember But I also want to say that a little bit about when he met Anita Hardy. He was courting her at that time. I was living in Boca at that time before I moved out, and he actually went to visit her with the recording time there. And there was a couple of times he actually dragged me around in his car when we used to go to Hardy's house over there, and I actually accompanied him on to the wedding. But there was one instance which I want Hardy to hear. I think for the first time he heard it, and the first time we make it public as well. One of the parties we were having, I think, I'm not too sure whether it was one of the previous parties or the birthday, but we were having a party and we were having a good rollicking time at the Rambilass time. We got married together and have our fun and frolic there. And we're having dance, music and all. And then he's telling me, I wish my dear Annie was with me. That was just before he was married. So he didn't say, this is the first time hearing me say that, but I remember very clearly, he told me that day, before he got married, he said that, yeah, I wish my dear Annie was with me. He really wished to be in that party. So those are the little touching things that I shared with you. Ladies and children, on behalf of the family, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, the family who's been gathering around this terrible time in order to build the world of children. And on behalf of all of you, collectively, I'd like to express our deep condolences to the family. And we, of course, all might grant them the necessary strength and fortitude to overcome this loss. Oh yes, one more, thinking about his, he was a prankster as well. Let's face it, he was a real prankster. When he attended Sasti College, I believe, it was the last day, one of the days, the last day. What he did was, they used to take the bus and to go to Long Street bus stand, get out there, and then walk to Sasti College. Right. It was the last day, and this prankster, what he gets a few friends together. I don't know if the children will remember the days of the rickshaws. Now we know that the rickshaw is in each front, and a few of them over there, they're more tourist attraction. But in those days, in the 60s and 70s, that the rickshaw throughout Durban, in fact, on the bus ride, you take a rickshaw going to town and things like that. So what he did was, he got a few of his friends together on the last day, hired a rickshaw, got the rickshaw, and got the rickshaw together to take them to Sasti College. There you see Prakash and his friend are entering Sasti College. This is where the teachers are looking at them coming on a rickshaw over there to school itself. You can imagine the consternation it would have caused among the teachers at the time. So these are some of the fond memories that I share with J. Prakash. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Mr. Gerard. He was a magnificent personality and full of fun, and full of laughter, and definitely full of pranks. All of that will certainly be missed. For our next speaker, I would like to call upon Yajur Landat. He's the eldest grandchild who will say a few words on behalf of his mother. Representing the grandchildren.
Namaste everyone. Our Nana was not just our grandfather, but rather a storyteller, a role model, and our biggest supporter. His confidence and support of us always gave us belief that we could aspire to greater heights. Nana always lit up the house with his loud, happy, and energetic voice. He endeared himself to anyone, whether they were young or old. His life experience and captivating stories allowed him to relate to us, the youth, as well as other generations. One trait that stands out is his contagious humor. Stemming from his in-depth knowledge of the English language, he had the ability to deliver the perfect dad joke and not so clean jokes, which we always share with our friends afterwards. Nana would constantly check on our results and would encourage us even when the marks were not where they should be, always stating that our best was all that was required. He was our guide and mentor, and personally brought me to Shakespeare. It was always hilarious to hear the multitude of war stories, and especially how he used to be the enforcer of discipline during his teaching years. He evidently left many marks on his students, but socially and politically. As my single mom can attest to, but I'm sure he will conveniently eventually his speech. Nana was one of the most educated individuals that we had the pleasure of knowing. He had a vast repository of books, texts, and various documents that he always shared with us. He was an avid reader who always encouraged us to invest our time in reading and consistently brought us various general knowledge books to enhance our thirst for learning. Nana's generosity knew no bounds, as he always gave us money, contributed towards our education, and always ensured that there was no shortage of fireworks during the morning. I sometimes believe that he enjoyed it more than us. Nana also supported a multitude of charities and never publicly mentioned how much he actually did. And he serves as my personal role model on how to be such a great personality, but at the same time, how to be so humble. We as Nana's grandchildren will miss him more than we can communicate, and Nana has left a void that is impossible to fill. Thank you, Nana, for all the life lessons, memories, and experience. We will cherish these forever.
Thank you, George, for those lovely words. Nana, representing all the grandchildren, and he will indeed very, very solid. The next speaker is Mr. Shamir Wahid. He is Jay Prakash's other son-in-law, who will read out some of the written tributes that have come through on his behalf from the Avoca Cultural Society as well as the Ireland Literature.
JV family and friends, I will be reading out the first tribute from the Avoca Cultural Society for Barton. Jay Prakash grew up in the village of Avoca as part of a huge extended family. The Bogle family owned large tracts of land in Avoca, and Prakash, with his siblings and cousins, spent an exciting childhood playing and having fun, enjoying all the excitement that he, in large measure, created for his age group. In 1973, the youth of Avoca came together to recreate in Avoca the concerts and Diwali fairs they were accustomed to in their childhood. This saw the establishment of the Avoca Cultural Society in 1973. He served as the first chairperson of the society. Together with Ida, Maya, and the larger Bogle family, they participated in plays, songs, sketches, and recitals of the Maya, Jivramoni, and the Gita during Krishnashtami. When we produced a brochure, Pulva Place, recording the history of Avoca as a sprawling district that engaged extensively in flower farming, Jay Prakash did the editing of that book, or that brochure, Pulva Place. Jay Prakash was an integral part of the team that was a dynamic part of the cultural life of Avoca. He attended the satsangs conducted by Pandit S.A. Naidu, Mr. Seligan, and Mr. Sulal, and other elders of Avoca. Jay Prakash's name and fond memories will ever be etched in the annals of the Avoca Cultural Society. We are very grateful to both Jay Prakash and his wife Anita for being an active part of the ACS initiatives and activities, teaching Hindi and taking up writing of poems and short stories as their hobby. Go well, Jay Prakash. As the youngsters in the family, we enjoyed all your escapades and shared a special camaraderie with you. We all love you and miss you always. The next tribute is from the Aryan Benevolent Home. On behalf of the Aryan Benevolent Home, our elderly residents, staff, and children, we wish to convey our heartfelt condolences to the family of Mr. J. Prakash Rambilass, a devoted servant of the ABH His unwavering commitment and exceptional leadership were truly inspiring. Mr. J. Prakash was a key figure in shaping and guiding the organization, leaving an enduring mark on all who had the honor to work with him. His contributions were fundamental to the success and growth of YAH. As we grieve his passing, we also celebrate his extraordinary legacy of dedication and excellence. He will be deeply missed, but forever remembered for his invaluable service and profound impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I think tributes from the various organizations are testaments to JP's philanthropic spirit and his spirit of community, and always participating in various events, various cultural activities, be it sporting events, educational events, and was definitely a pillar in the community that he served. So he will again be missed, not only by the family, but the greater family that he participated in across all of his endeavors. With that, to elaborate a little bit more on his participation in the various organizations, I would like to call upon Pandit Kiran Satgur, who's the president of the Arya Praniti Sabha APS, to please speak on behalf of Mr. Rambilass.
My very namaste to one and all of you. Today we gather with heavy hearts to remember and honor the life of a truly remarkable person, Mr. J. Prakash Rambilass. And as we reflect on his life, we celebrate not only the legacy that he leaves behind, but the countless ways in which he touched our lives and the lives of those around him. J. Prakash was a devoted husband to his beloved wife Anita, and a loving father to his sons Kavish and Nadish, and his daughters Swati and Rakshita. He also leaves behind a cherished family of grandchildren, all of whom were blessed by his wisdom, love and guidance. He was part of a large family, and although his passing leaves a deep void, his memory will live on in the hearts of his siblings, especially his brother, Dr. Rambilass, and his three sisters with whom he shared many years of laughter and devotion. With permission, I would like to say J. Prakash's commitment to community service and spiritual growth began early in his life. As a member of the Avoca Cultural Society, from a young age he served with dedication under the guidance of Pandit S.A. Naidu. His lifelong devotion to seva, selfless service, was evident in his work with the Aryan Benevolent Home and Arya Yuvat Sabha, where he not only contributed his time and energy but also held official positions. His service to these institutions, particularly his efforts in selling the Diwali and Christmas greeting cards for their causes, speaks volumes about the kind of man he was, always putting others before himself. But as an educator, J. Prakash had a lasting impact on generations of students. He dedicated over 40 years of his life to teaching, working at various schools, including the Manila Balji Primary School, Gandhi Desai, Sastry College, and Effingham Secondary School. He was an English teacher of note, highly respected by his students and colleagues alike. Those who had the privilege of learning from him, as well as those who worked alongside him, will forever remember his passion for teaching and his unwavering commitment to education, and the profound influence he had on shaping young minds. Jai Prakash's spiritual contributions were equally significant, and this is the impact that he had on the Arya Samaj. His extensive knowledge of the Vedas and world religions made him a key figure in the development of the Ved-Niketan subcommittee of the Arya Samaj. He worked tirelessly alongside Pandit Nardevji, contributing his time and efforts in many ways, including editing books, writing examinations, and eventually becoming a tutor and examiner of the Ved-Niketan. His deep understanding of the Dharma Praveen and Dharma Prabhakar examinations further cemented his role in preserving and sharing the teachings of our faith. On a personal note, it is said that Jai Prakash had a special bond with Pandit Nardevji, where their interactions, often in Shuddh Hindi and Bhojpuri or Natali Hindi, brought much laughter and light-hearted moments to their work. Their friendship and shared commitment to the Arya Samaj exemplified the warmth, the joy, and the camaraderie that characterized Jai Prakash's life. Throughout his years of service, he worked alongside many stalwarts of the Arya Samaj, including Mr. Chute, Dr. Rambilass, the Parmesars, Mr. Bal Ganesh, Mr. Rabi Jeevan, and Swami Vidyavati Saraswati, amongst others. And if these individuals were with us today, they would attest to his dedication, integrity, and tireless efforts in advancing the ideals of the Arya Samaj and serving humanity. His passing leaves a significant void in all areas that he was involved in. His absence will be keenly felt by his colleagues, the Avoca Cultural Society, Arya Samaj South Africa, and his dear family. However, we take comfort in knowing that his legacy will live on through the lives he touched, the work he did, and the values he upheld. To his family, we offer our deepest condolences. We stand with you in this difficult time, praying for strength and support as you navigate this loss. May you find peace in the knowledge that JP's life was a life well lived, filled with love, service, and devotion to all that was good and right. We will miss him dearly, but we know that his spirit will continue to guide us, and his memory will forever be etched in our hearts. I conclude with a poem. In quiet strength, he shaped our days. A steady hand, a guiding gaze. Through every word, through every deed, he sowed the seeds of what we need. A father's love, a teacher's art, he wove his wisdom through our heart. With patience vast as ocean's tide, he walked with us right by our side. In books he saw the light to share, in us the promise burning there. His lessons, not just chalk and pen, but how to rise and try again. A laugh to lift, a voice to soothe, a soul so kind, a heart so true. In every moment, big or small, he showed us love can conquer all. Now through the hands of time have spun, and earthly days for him are done. His spirit lingers, soft and bright, a guiding star, a beacon of light. For every life he chose to touch, for every heart he loved so much, we carry forth his noble flame, and honor him with love's refrain. Through tears may fall, he must not part, for he lives on in every heart. A father, a teacher, a gentle friend, his legacy will never end. Namaste. Thank you.
very much for those wonderful words, Prakash. And I think to summarize Jay Prakash's interaction, he was indeed a man who didn't just talk the talk, but he certainly walked the walk. And he was somebody that he was a man of action who would do what he says. And I think anyone who's had any kind of interaction will know that great personality that he possessed. So with that, I'd like to introduce the last speaker, certainly not the least. He will tell you that he is JP's favorite nephew. I think there's some debate around that. He certainly spent a lot of time with JP, especially in the last few months during his extensive illness. And he's somebody who's been present, who's been part of both JP and Anita's life, the last bits especially. And he will certainly give us a little bit more insights as a nephew, as a student, and as a family member. I'd like to introduce Sidhu Vogel to say a few words on behalf.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend your ears. I've come to bury Caesar, not praise him. I suppose if I had to draw a Shakespearean analogy to best describe the personal relationship that I share with Prakash Kaka, would be that I am the Mark Antony to JP, my Caesar. I think that my Kaka will be most proud and satisfied that I chose his favorite piece, and in a way a most relevant piece, from his favorite Shakespeare to open his eulogy. JP, never the English teacher, forever the teacher of English. Prakash Kaka was a man of many words, a true wordsmith at heart, who after his collection of Shakespeare's works counted his dictionary and thesaurus as his favorite books. A quick perusal through his books will show you that his dictionary and thesaurus were the most used and hence most loved of his books. So much so that they occupied a permanent place on his table. This afternoon though, I have been given the most challenging task of presenting his eulogy. Why challenging? How do you present a person's life of almost 8 decades in as many minutes? And not just an ordinary life, but a rather extraordinary life. A life of service, dedication, and contribution, not to just one or two, but numerous community organizations. From a grassroots level at the Avoca Cultural Society and the Avoca Sri Lakshmi Narayan Temple, spanning national institutions such as SATU, where he served as regional chair in SATU's formative years, and of course the Aryan Praniti Sabha and the Aryan Benevolent Home as well. Like many from our community in Avoca, he fell under the influence of one of the greatest stalwarts of the Aryan Benevolent himself, Holmes, who himself hails from Avoca, Pandit Naidu. That influence extended from the Sunday morning satsangs in Avoca to manifest itself into decades of service to the ABH. JP served in various official capacities at the ABH, and together with the likes of Mr. Ram Bros, Mr. R.B. Ram, Mr. Sitaram, Mr. Bolton, and Mr. Hiralal, saw the ABH through a tumultuous period, characterized both by extraordinary growth and achievements, while facing the challenges of subsidy cuts and funding challenges. His selfless service and unyielding dedication to that august institution alone, as a true Karma Yogi warrants, would take up more time than I have. Whether at Clayton Gardens in Asheville, the Highland Gardens, and the Westside Home in Chatsworth, JP served and served tirelessly with a dedication, a yajna that even his dictionary and thesaurus would battle to express, describe, or define. His love and passion for reading and learning, coupled with that same spirit of service, extended with equal vigor and passion to the Ved Niketan at the Adi Pratinidhi Sabha, where he served as Secretary of Ved Niketan for a number of years. JP, along with Kaki, J. Balwant, Pandita Nanachand Sr., Pandita Ramatar, Pandita Hanuman, myself, and a few others were in the very first batch of students who successfully completed the Dharma Praveen and Dharma Prabhakar examinations in the late 1980s. But what made his service at Ved Niketan extraordinary was the relationship that he shared with Pandit Nardev Vedalankar, the doyen of Hindi in South Africa. While everybody who spoke to Panditji, even those among us who had done Hindi up to Rashtra Bhasha Vardha Kovid, made a concerted effort to speak to Panditji in Shuddha Hindi, ensuring that our ta, ke, ki, and ta, pe, ti were correctly used, often constructing each sentence in our heads before vocalizing to Panditji. Of course, JP had no such qualms. As a Hindi student myself, I often cringed at JP's. Panditji, to मालूम कल या हम एक पेज देगी वो चिट्ठी लिख देना और बदल के दे देना तू नोट नॉट आप तू बदल से पूछ लेना वो चिट्ठी होकर पास. And to JP's credit and Panditji's as well, they had a most phenomenal working relationship and a personal relationship as well, whether at APS or Panditji's home in Cross Street. On a more personal level, for us as kids in the Rambilass global family, from myself down to my younger cousins, we often looked forward to Prakash Kaka loading us in the station wagon and carting us all of the Japanese gardens at every opportunity he got. The annual excursion to the city center to see the Christmas lights, loading us all in the back of the supermarket van, was also something that we remember and recall fondly. At our family functions, from his version or choreography of Meena Kumari in Inhi Logone from Pakiza, or his interpretation of Manoj Kumar's Zindagi Ke Natu Ke Ladi from Kranti were phenomenal. I can wax on lyrical for hours on end, and believe me, as my family can attest, I can go on for hours about the fond memories, experiences, and anecdotes related to Prakash Kaka and the ways in which he enriched our lives, including the impressions he made on us, both literal and metaphorical, as family and his students in school. My left cheek still remembers and bears the impression and emotional scar of that encounter in Standard 8 with his right arm. And that impression came without his customary warning of, take your handkerchief out of your pocket and wipe that grin off your face. Time and tide waits for no man. And as has happened to our loved ones before us, and as has happened now with Prakash Kaka, and as will happen someday to each of us, our time will be up. And I suppose it would be fitting to describe his life with his favorite song from Kranti. Zindagi ke natu ke ladi, pyar kar le khadi do khadi, lambi lambi umariya ko chhoro, pyar ki ik khadi hai badi. The chain of life must not break, even if love is for a moment or two. Forget the grandiose philosophy of living an eternal life, for even a single moment of love and life is enough for me to live. I suppose it would be most apt to conclude with a reading from Shakespeare's last solo play, The Tempest, that has often been seen as valedictory for his career, specifically and Prospero's final speech, in which he tells the audience, "Let your indulgence set me free," asking to be released from the stage one last time before retiring. Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which inherit shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wrap behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that emotional, honest, and very animated recount, Sindhu. I think spending so much time with JP, as somebody who, as you say, is an educator, is not an English teacher, is the teacher of English, and he really took that role that we played as an educator very seriously. So that was the last speaker as part of the formalities. I would like to, on behalf of the family, notify those that want to attend that the third day Hawan will be on Friday at 5:30 p.m. at the residence, 185 South Shangeni Road in Amoka. And at the same time, it is my privilege to also extend the gratitude of everyone related to JP. So the Rambilass Mobile family would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their messages of support, best wishes and prayer. Due to the significant size and proximity of the Rambilass Mobile family and the established support structures through community and other associations, it would be impossible to individually thank each person for all that they have done. So we collectively wish to reiterate our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has reached out to the family. Your presence and continuous support during this very difficult period is absolutely appreciated. In conclusion of the program, I would like to hand over back to Anita.
May I ask all those who are waiting outside to please come in and pay the respects. Thank you. Swati, Kavish, Rakshika and Nadish, and their respective families. Pujya Swami Vedananji and Pujya Swami Venkatriji, Dr. Rambilass and members of the Rambilass families, the President, officials and members of Arya Samaj, ladies and gentlemen, My prayer namaste to one and all. At the beginning, before I did the prayer, I did say, when the student is thirsty for knowledge, the Guru appears. You have heard all speakers alluding to the exemplary educator that JP was. Today, as so many generations have before us, we gather here as members of the Rambilass and Arya Samaj families in the warmth of our diversities to pay homage to a great, great soul, Prakash Rambilass, or as we all, like I said, call him, JP. JP's passing away has added one more portrait to our gallery of founding members, stalwarts, and pioneers of the Arya Samaj. We have lost a dedicated member who was ever willing to share his repository of knowledge of the Vedas, world religions, and everything else related to Vedic philosophy. I stand here today on behalf of Pandit Rita Singh and myself, who wrote his last paper on Saturday, which was paper 4 of the Dharma Prabhakar, or the higher diploma in Hinduism. I think he waited for us to finish that paper before he passed on. So as I lead you into prayer and recite the Antyeshti mantras, I am actually paying homage to our Guru. Please bow your heads in prayer as I lead you to the mantras. may we find comfort in these truths. Jatasya idho mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada parinayate natvam shochitu. All things born must certainly die, and out of death must come life. Knowing this, we must desist from sorrow. May we have the strength to do so, Almighty God. All things are invisible before birth. They are invisible again after death. We see only the mortal being in its existing lifespan. O God, grant us the wisdom to accept this truth. Vedamritam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasaha Parastam Tameva Viditvari Mrityuvedi Nanyaha Pantha Vidyate Naya. The Supreme Absolute Being is full of splendor, like the sun untainted by darkness. There is no other path to salvation and eternal bliss than by getting to know God. May we be blessed with the wisdom to know Him. Om Yahatmata Bhalaya Yasya Vishwamupasati Prashisham Yasya Devaha Yasya Chaya Amritam Yasya Mrityu Tasmai Devaya Vishami Deva. In this hour of distress, we need you, O God, who alone can give us physical vigor and spiritual strength. All blissful divinity, whose grace is immortality, whose praises are sung by all enlightened persons, we offer our humble prayer and entreat you to lessen our sorrow. Om Suryam Chakshur Gacchatu Padamatma Yam Charaksha Prithivim Chakarmana Apova Gaccha Yadi Tatrati Nita Bhoshadishu Pratitishta Sharirena. May all the components of this body be merged with the five elements of the universe. May its vision be absorbed in the sun, its breath into the atmosphere, and its other senses into the appropriate elements. May the soul, according to the noble deeds performed here, dwell in a body worthy of such merit. Om Sham Agni Paschat Tapasham Purastat Cham Uttaracham Adaratapenam Ekasvedham Nito Jatavedaha Samyak Enam Dehi Sukritam Uloke. O God, who is self-willingness, who dispenses justice even-handedly, and who rewards everyone justly, may the soul of this body find peace in every direction. O omniscient, and all illuminating Lord, the Creator, Sustainer, and Dissolver of this universe, may this soul be given a worthy abode. Om Samyachasva Vetrihi Samyam Enesha Potena Paramevyaman Yetvaya Vadyam Punarastamehi Sangachatam Tanva Suvarjaha. O God, may the soul by its austerity, enlightenment, and good deeds attain like its forebears a suitable state. May it be free from all blemishes and once again inherit an enlightened body full of luster and return to this world to perform noble deeds. Om Vayuranilam Amritam Atedam Bhasmantam Shariram Om Katosmara Trivesmara Predam Smara. Almighty God, the soul is immortal. It is not made of 5 elements. The mortal body will be reduced to ashes and will be disposed of suitably. May we ever remember you in every deed we perform. Om Eka Eva Suridharmo Nidayebhya Anuyatiya Sharirena Samannasham Sarvam Anyati Gacchati. Almighty God, all material things perish with the death of the body. It is only one's good deeds, one's dharma, that remains with the soul after death. May this dharma never be allowed to perish. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. O Supreme Spirit, lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortal bliss. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to ask the family to come together and pay their last respects. I believe they have some roses to put in. So please come forward, and before we conclude with the Shanti part, and before we adjourn into the antechamber for the cremation. Thank you. Family who stand in last respect, please join me as I sing Prabhu Tere Dware. Prabhu Tere Dware, Aaya hai Atma. Prabhu Tere Dware, Aaya hai Atma. Shanti Sarva